I specifically went in and typed up in Google sexy, and I pretty much knew what I was going to find, and so do you. It's a whole lot of pictures about boobs. And here we are living in a culture that has an amazing focus on breasts. And yet it's also something that we don't talk about very much. This makes it an incredibly challenging thing when somebody gets a diagnosis of breast cancer and then is told that potentially they're going to have part or all of their breasts removed. And as one of my participants phrased it, she said, I lost my breasts, I lost my hair, I lost my period. Aren't these all the things that define me as female, that define me as feminine? And I guess the first question I'm talking about here is the question itself, is that absolutely you're expected to be shaken. You're expected to have your confidence really rocked by this, because that's about the only reasonable reaction there is when we remove a part of our bodies that is defining us as feminine, that is defining us as desirable. However, this book was designed to help reintegrate people into the idea of, yes, there is beauty beyond cancer. And we are sharing a lot of different stories and a lot of different pictures from Joyce, who's on our cover, and I love her. She's one of the most joyful photos and joyful people I've ever seen in my whole life. And one of the things that Beauty After Breast Cancer is showing is the absolute joy and beauty in life beyond cancer. What a lot of the women have realized in this book, whether they had reconstruction or not, is that their breasts don't define them. We are defined in life by our hearts. We are defined in life by the gestures and the love that we give out to others. We are not defined by our bodies. We are not defined by our breasts, and yet it's completely okay to want to feel good about your body and to want to feel good about your breasts. And the biggest answer to this, other than the more detailed answers that we're sharing in the book, is that it takes time. I don't think there was anyone that went through this that I talked to within the 38 interviews we did within the Beauty After Breast Cancer book that did not first look in the mirror and have a sense of mild to profound horror at what they'd just gone through and what their bodies looked like. And I'll tell you personally, it was one of the most awkward dating conversations I ever had, to say, hey, before you see me naked, there's something you need to know. And yet, all of the men I dated, most of the partners in the book, were so immensely okay with this. It did not change their image of their partners. It did not change their attraction to their partners. But it does take time to roll yourself around that. Georgine was one of our strongest examples. She's our oldest participant in the book, and she said, my life is a map of scars, and they tell the story of my life. My body shows my gallbladder scar, to my stretch marks from my children, to my mastectomy scars from my breast cancer. Every single one of those pieces tells a story of my life. And if someone somehow thinks that makes me a lesser person, I don't care to know that person anyway. I think that our scars make us stronger. I think our scars tell the stories of our lives. And it's okay if it takes time to wrap your head around that. We created the Beauty After Breast Cancer book to be the perfect resource for newly diagnosed patients who are facing breast cancer, and for people who have already faced breast cancer who are having trouble integrating back into their bodies and their lives again. This is the information we all wish we'd had when we were going through our treatments, through our decisions, and through our diagnosis. You can pick up a copy of the Beauty After Breast Cancer book on our website at www.beautyafterbreastcancer.com. And there's also a section in there in which you can see some of the photos that are in the book, And you can review some of the most important information that you need to know when you're first facing a diagnosis. That information is free on our website under sample pages. Again, the website is www.beautyafterbreastcancer.com.